Welcome to our Season 2 tier list roundup. In this video, we take an average of your favorite content creators tier list for Marvel Rivals, and we break them down each season and give you an average, so it gives you a better understanding of what the meta actually is instead of one player's opinion alone. And if you want to see how we actually break this down and do the kind of calculations behind the scenes, then check out the Season 1 video. I'll leave it linked at the end of this one. Getting on into the averaged tier list first, and we'll go through that, and then the second portion of this video, which I'll leave a timestamp for, will be my opinions and the adjustments I would make to this tier list based off my experience and what I hear in my comment section as well. But let's get through what the actual average tier list is for Season 2, the start of Season 2. At the bottom, we have Squirrel Girl in F tier by herself. Then in D tier, we've got Black Panther by himself. In C tier, we've got Scarlet Witch, Penny Parker, Punisher, Moon Knight, Iron Man, Thor, and Black Widow. Some of these have been heavily disrespected, by the way. In B tier, we've got Doctor Strange, Jeff, Storm, Cloak and Dagger, Mantis, Magic, Adam Warlock. Again, some of these, in my opinion, have been kind of disrespected. And then in A tier, we've got Hulk, Iron Fist, Star-Lord, Namor, Captain America, Hawkeye, Winter Soldier, Mr. Fantastic, The Thing, Spider-Man, Venom, and Wolverine. And then in absolute S tier for this average tier list, we've got Groot, Hela, Luna, Loki, Rocket, Human Torch, Emma Frost, Invisible Woman, Magneto, and Psylocke. Now, like I said, between all these creators that make these videos, they've got an insane amount of game time, and a lot of them are quite highly ranked players within this game as well. So this average tier list will give you a good understanding of the way the meta is sitting at the moment. And just by looking at this tier list, we've not got a ton of tanks that are like absolutely incredible like before. And even when it comes to overall, mainly it's support players that are kind of getting higher up on this list from the looks of things. And obviously a lot of DPS in there as well. So the meta has shifted quite a lot from Season 1 just by comparing this. And if you want to go back and compare it to our Season 1.5 video, then you can definitely go ahead and do that. Let's get on into my personal adjustments to this tier list and where I would rearrange some of the heroes. You can have your own discussion down in the comments as well if you agree with the changes I have personally made to this, because this is all just based on my experience. So first of all, when it comes to F tier, I think Squirrel Girl does provide some kind of value, and I would actually switch these two heroes round. So I'd put Black Panther in F and Squirrel Girl in D. That is the first change I would make. I think when it comes to Black Panther, not only is his kit quite hard to use, but it's a buggy mess at the moment. They either need to buff his damage overall or just make his hit registration just a lot better. So they do need to fix Black Panther because he's a fun hero to use, but even the heroes that main this guy don't even use him anymore. So that's going to give you a good understanding of where he sits in this meta. Squirrel Girl, you can get some value from, but in this season, for some reason, she just does not feel good at all. I feel like they've kind of messed around with something to do with her ultimate or her abilities in general. I don't know if they nerfed her damage, but I just don't know what they've changed, and she just does not feel as good as she did in Season 1. And then when it comes to C tier, I think Scarlet Witch definitely does not deserve to be here. I think she deserves to actually be in A tier if I'm being perfectly honest. So I would move Scarlet Witch all the way up to A tier. She's an extremely solid DPS to use, whether you're on controller or keyboard and mouse, it does not matter. Then we've got Penny Parker, and I think Penny Parker again has been disrespected, and I think she should personally be in B tier. I think she's good enough to be in B tier, potentially even A, but I think I understand why people haven't really put her that high. But she's great anti-dive, and she's just really good at staying alive for the most part, and the critical hit buff that she got is definitely worth it. When it comes to Moon Knight, I actually can understand why he's in C tier. I think once his Unk gets destroyed, he's kind of a really easy target to kill after that, especially if you don't know how to position really well with him. So as much as you can get good value when he does have his Unks available, and the fact that he did get a slight buff with the most recent update has definitely made him more viable, but I just don't think he's nearly as good as some of the other options, especially just landing your shots without having his Unks. Iron Man, I can see and understand why he's in C tier. No pun intended with that one, but his ultimate does make him incredibly powerful if it doesn't get cancelled. But I get why he's in C tier. I'm going to leave him right in here. Thor, on the other hand, I think deserves to be in B tier, to be honest. I think Thor should absolutely be in B tier. I think he's incredibly strong when you're coming up against like shield tanks, for example, especially if you know how to use them correctly. And I think he's a great alternative to using Wolverine if Wolverine does get banned as well. So that is why I need to put Thor in B tier. I think he gets a lot of disrespect, but he's a really solid hero to use. Is he as good as Wolverine? No. But can he replace that kind of position? Yes, he can. He could do a really good job. Black Widow, in my opinion, I'm going to leave her in C tier, but honestly, I could put her in B as well. I think she's actually pretty solid, but she involves a lot of skill and she's not really that versatile. So I'm going to leave her in C tier. You can get good value from her if you kind of know how to use her well, right? Then we're moving on into the B list. And the B list right here, I think is pretty strong. There's only a couple of heroes I would potentially move down this list. One of them is Storm. I think Storm is just as good as Iron Man. There's pretty much no difference here. And if we're talking about any of the other heroes on this list that I may potentially move down, now moving on into the A tier list, we are now looking at Hulk. Hulk absolutely is A tier, especially with that team up. I think that makes him really, really good. And not only that, even just his kit got slightly buffed as well. I think Hulk is a solid choice. Iron Fist absolutely deserves A tier. I don't think he's S tier, if I'm being perfectly honest. Some people do have him in S tier when it comes to the individual list, but I think this is a good average for him. He should stay in A tier. Star-Lord, again, absolutely A tier, no complaints there. Namor, A tier again, no complaints there. Captain America is a weird one for me. I struggle to play this hero, but when you come up against a really good one, I actually think he's S tier, to be honest. So I'm going to bump him up to S tier. I think Captain America, if played correctly, I need to add that in, if played correctly, he is extremely annoying to play against. Then we have Hawkeye, and in some of the individual lists, they have him in S tier, but I just don't think he's that versatile, to be honest. I could personally put him down in B tier, but I understand his one-shot potential. He does a lot of damage, and in this season, he's actually not too bad. So A tier, definitely. Winter Soldier, A tier with his most recent buff. I agree. Mr. Fantastic is great anti-dive at the moment. He stays alive a lot longer than any other DPS, and I think he's absolutely deserving of A tier at the moment. One of the heroes I don't like having in this list, but he is that good, so we can't really move him. Then we've got the Thing, and I think the Thing can actually get bumped up. I think he's absolutely insane in this game right now, especially when I come up against him. You're playing a dive comp, then you can't really complain when you've got a Thing on your team. So I think he's absolutely S tier, and his ultimate's really good as well. Spider-Man, absolutely A tier. He is one of the most banned heroes in the game, especially in the kind of lower ranks. But in general, I think he is a pretty solid dive hero right now. Venom, again, A tier, he deserves that spot. And then we've got Wolverine as well in A tier, one of the best tank busters in the game. When it comes to the S tier list, there's not any real changes I would like to make to this besides one. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you'd probably guess who it is. And that is a Human Torch, man. This guy is not an S tier hero. I don't know why people have him so high up on the list. Is he annoying to play against? Yes. Is he that good? Not really, man. I would personally put him in B tier, but I'll be fair and drop him down to A, because I just don't think he's S tier. He does not deserve to be there. He's not that good, right? He's just not that good. There we have it. That is my adjustments to this tier list. Let me know if you agree down in the comments below. Also, if you want to see more seasonal roundup tier lists like this one, where you get a good understanding of the meta, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as we will be doing this every half a season. And thank you very much for watching.